Hi there, this is Tim with an Elite Dangerous video, and I'm starting in the M20 sector of systems, and I'm heading to Thor's Eye. It's about 1400 light years away, and you can see where it is. It's pretty close to the Lagoon Nebula that I've been heading to. Obviously I'm going to have to plot a course less than 1000 light years, because that's all that the game can currently plot in one go. So I'm just going to get to about halfway, and then once I reach the halfway point I will just plot a further course. Now the M20 sector is a little bit out of the way. I travelled an indirect course basically, and that's allowed actually a lot of systems during this next 1400 light years to be completely unexplored by other players, who I assume have gone in a more straight line than I did, and that's actually pretty cool. I find 2 Earth-like planets during the course of this 1400 light years, and I find a black hole which has already been discovered, but still I'll get some money and get paid for it when I return to inhabited space and sell my data.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Okay, into super fast mode now. This is an uncut journey of 1400 light years. Obviously when there's any moment of interest I put it down to normal speed. You'll see that I'm scanning a few planets, stopping for some screenshots now and then, and whenever anything interesting happens like this I will return to normal speed. Now I've jumped into this system here. I start to scan the star, I scan the system, and obviously check how many bodies there are, and then I check those bodies and see if there's anything that looks interesting enough to scan. And this first one actually looks like an Earth-like world, so I'm going to plot it on the menu there, fly towards it, and then I'll do a surface scan and actually find out what kind of planet it is. Okay, the scan has started. And it is indeed an Earth-like world. So this is the first one I found during this relatively short journey. This might be a little bit far out, the distance away from inhabited space, but I think that once Frontier decides to start to let the factions kind of expand into kind of previously uncharted space, it'll be Earth-like worlds that they're obviously going to be looking for, and I'm quite happy to have found a couple. And there's only really a few systems where I scan everybody in the system. I don't really, my journey isn't really about making money, it's about just sightseeing. And I really didn't think that exploration would be that interesting for me, but it really is. It's shocked me, honestly. I thought combat would be my thing, and exploration is actually quite a lot of fun for me. So as I'm continuing on here, you can see there's a lot of different kind of stars that I'm heading into. Obviously the ones that look pretty cool I stop and take a screenshot, but if it's any that I've encountered a lot, I'm not really going to bother. So I've found a few planets of interest in this system, and this one here is another Earth-like world, so this is the second one that I discovered on this relatively short part of my journey, this 1400 light years. Okay, so now we're heading on to Thor's Eye, which is where the black hole is. Okay, off we go. Okay, we're now in the Thor's Eye system, and I'm heading to an unexplored contact, and if you watch the stars and everything behind it really closely, you can actually see them being distorted. It's very difficult, obviously, to take a screenshot that can capture this, because when you look at it you don't know that it's being distorted. So the only way I can really show a black hole is through making a video like this, and as it obviously passes over the galactic plane and any stars, even the Lagoon Nebula, which I'll pass it over later, you can see them being distorted, and what the visuals actually are of a black hole in the Elite Dangerous game. And you'll actually see my heat start to build up right after I've scanned it here. It's just going to start scanning in a moment. Okay, scanning has started, and it'll basically discover that it's a black hole, and this system has actually been visited before. It was actually a comment on YouTube while I've been travelling here from someone that made me come to this system. And you can see the impact warning has already come up, even though I'm a really long way away from this contact. And if you watch the heat start to build up to the top left of the central scanner, it's currently on 52%, and all of a sudden you're just going to see that thing start to climb, and climb pretty rapidly. If you're not on your toes with this, you know, you're going to overheat and you're going to damage your ship, and that's not good if you're an explorer, because you're a long way from anywhere that you can repair. So I basically have to turn away a little bit and get away from the black hole here. Okay, that's my heat starting to recover now. And as you can see, whenever you're not moving, you can't really see that the black hole is there. There's no real visual indication at all, and that, I think, from my understanding, makes sense, because the gravitational pull of the black hole is so large that light can't escape from it, so you literally can't see that it's there. So anyway, I'm just going to stop and take a couple of screenshots of the Lagoon Nebula. That is what I've been heading towards. And then I'm going to head down here so that I can look up and actually show you the black hole as it passes over the nebula, to give you a little more visuals on how it actually affects the light and distorts it. Okay, so let's look up here, and if you keep looking at the Thor's Eye there, the black hole, and then look at the nebula, you can see the light kind of bending around it here. So I personally think that's very, very cool. Like I said, I didn't think exploration would be any part of my interest in this game. I mean, it's not something that I did with the previous Elite games in any way whatsoever. I basically did missions, I you know, killed NPC ships. That was it. That was what my interest was. Here on the left side, if you want to pause this and read it, you can. You can see the information on who first discovered it, which was a player obviously, and what black holes are, and all the specifications. And then Thor's Eye, but I'm heading on to where I'm going to save the game now. And you can see in the background where I'm saving, you can see where the Lagoon Nebula is, and that there's actually quite a few nebulae around that I can travel to. I'm going to have to kind of decide what my route is going to be and which ones I'm going to go to and which I'm not. But I'm going to show you my distance to Sol now to kind of end the video. 4,256 light years, or 57 light years, and you can see in the distance the Lagoon Nebula with my arrow pointing towards it. And there you go. I'm not sure that really gives you enough of an indication of the vastness of this play zone, though. So I'm going to zoom out here, and you can see where I've travelled. I've obviously travelled from Sol in pretty much a straight line, so I've only encountered the stars in basically a straight line. I hope you enjoyed that. See you soon. Thanks. Bye.